Guys, good evening. Welcome to the platform. It's I think it promises to be an interesting series today. We had one yesterday and we're having one today. Please, all I'll just say right now is you can just help by sharing the space, retweeting the space. Let people know that the space is up and running. It is one space that I think everybody should be in. If you're obedient and you want to learn more about, I think it's like a space where you can tap wisdom from the older generation. We had a 95-year-old man speak yesterday. I think we have someone in the person of Edwin Clark. So, guys, please, you can join by sharing the space, retweeting the space, and also the space is live. We are streaming the space. If you have people that are not on Twitter, people that are not on social media, also they can join the space. We're streaming it on the Violence Space Radio. You can just go to the Violence Space website, www.violencespace.com. You can just look for the radio icon and click. Or we're also streaming it on our YouTube channel also. So please, it's an interesting space. So just invite people, share the space, retweet the space, let people come into the space and join in these conversations. We should have good numbers here today. So guys, as I said, I look forward to interacting with the man himself. These are two generations apart. We are coming from a very younger generation, and his generation have seen Nigeria right from before independence till now, and they are striving and fighting for a better country. Most of these men have nothing to lose anymore, and they are still giving their part in national building. So I want to see his views, want to know things about him, want to know why he's still in the game, and I think it should be an interactive conversation. So please, guys, as I've been saying, I don't know how many of us are in the building now. We have over 72 of us. I think we should have up to 72 retweets. It is unfair if you come on spaces like this and informations are being decimated and you want to listen to it alone. So please, I indulge all of you, share the space, retweet the space. I see all our regulars already here. So please, guys, please, you know how we do it on the Violence Place. Please share and retweet, share and retweet, share and retweet the space. Let people know that this space, a very important space, is up and running. Thank you. Oraye, let me circle back to you. And Kibati, I see you, my sister. Dr. Mo, good evening. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I mean, we'll come back to you, Saddam, because you need to tell us a bit about the violence space and what you've been doing over the couple of months. We'll come back to you, please. Please, Dr. Mo, can you please come up? I'm sorry we couldn't get you up yesterday due to glitches with the system, but we are glad you're here. Please say something to us, please.
Absolutely, I'm excited to be here, and this is about the best place anyone can be if you are in Nigeria or Africa at this particular timeline in our nation's history, looking at our socio-political um space. Is going to be educative. It's going to be interactive, just like Saddam and other people have said, but much more than that. This is going to take us history lane. One of the things we haven't done well in this country is to take advantage of history, in the sense that history is meant to be remembered, not necessarily celebrated. There are people who are fond of trying to see how we can kill it. No, if we kill it, we will repeat it, not just repeat it, but we would not be able to handle the mistakes that are going to come with it. Every nation, every space in life that have become developed and built with human ingenuity and even with the physical space has been due to the ability of the taking advantage and being able to manage, history. And this is particularly unique, especially looking at the legends that we're dealing with. Like Saddam said, these are people who have been there and done that. So interacting with them, number one, is going to not only give us the mirror of where we are coming from, but help us to be able to also look forward. So I'm particularly excited because with what we are going to learn, share, interact, we are going to develop, we're going to grow, we're going to relearn. And because every generation is expected to be able to shape their own ideas and evolve within their own space, with their own invention, with their own unique abilities, to proffer solutions to the problem of our current realities and be able to, at the same time, proffer the solution and apply them. Given this advantage that we are having to be able to soak in and deliberate with these people, this legend, these fathers, these heroes, it will allow us not to only shape the future, but shape it rightly and appropriately, to be able to lay a foundation for the new Nigeria that we all seek. So let's share this space. Let's ensure that everyone is here and strap your seatbelts like of our election, and also with
Dr. Mo, you went off for a beat. You said strap your seatbelt and
strap
we missed that part.
strap your seatbelt and get ready because it could get bumpy.
Fantastic.
Yeah, because some people are going to be hearing things they've never heard before. You know, the what is history to us is a reality to some of these legends. So let's get guarded and get ready as we move on. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited, and I think everyone else should be too. So welcome everyone and get ready.
Thank you so much. Couldn't have been said better, Dr. Mo. Thank you so much. The lady in the house, Lady Kibati, can you come online, please?
Hi, good evening,
Good
Oraye. Good
evening.
evening, Saddam. Good evening, Dr. Mo. How's everyone tonight? I am so excited to be
We're
here.
doing well. We're doing well.
I've got to tell you, I am so excited about the series. I love what Dr. Mo said about history. Many of us, I mean, our generation, have a lot to learn. Well, I wasn't alive, in well, I wasn't alive in in the days of some of these men, and I would like to learn a lot. I want to know. I think I'm not the only one. I think I and every other person on this space wants to hear his thoughts on the progression of the nation. Why are we here? Why is Nigeria? I would like to understand. I would like to pick his brain. His understanding of why. I mean, all the events that have brought us to this point. How did we get here? The trajectory of Nigeria. How did we get here? How did we get to this point? And he'll probably have some wisdom to share on the way out of it. How out of the present mess our country is, because believe it or not, whether we like it or not, the country is in a mess. So I'd really love to hear his thoughts, on how we got here and how we can get out of it. Also, his thoughts on federalism, national character, nation building, all those thoughts, sorry, federal character and all this, that conversation. um, of course, it's all about the 2023 general election. I'd love to know. I mean, he's endorsed our president, Peter Obi. I'd love to know how he arrived at that endorsement. What's his thoughts
Don't
on
don't
this?
don't don't release the cats from the bag now.
Okay, okay, sorry. Oh, I thought that's news already. I thought that's already news. I mean, everyone knows that but I would love to hear his thoughts on Peter Obi, our president. But most importantly, I would just love to have a history lesson. I don't. Well, I know we have a lot of questions for him, but I know he's very shall I use the word animated? He likes to. I expect to just sit down here. I don't expect to do much talking. I know I can just sit down here and he will school us. I want to learn. I want to really have an understanding of history. I would love to learn things I didn't know. So I can't wait to have him on space, and I know that we'll all have a great time. And I'm looking forward, particularly to an interactive segment. Hopefully, I hope we can have some speakers up on stage. To ask questions. So if you would like to be a speaker, just get your questions ready. Get your questions ready, and let's have a ball. I can't wait.
Oh wow! Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Lady Kibati, and welcome to the program. I'd like to invite someone I regard as a very special person. He In the last election in Anambra State, he ran for the governor of the state. He has also done very well as an entrepreneur and a business person. He was the immediate past CEO of Transcorp PLC. When we talk about Transcorp PLC, a lot of people mistake it for the hotel. It's beyond the hotel. Transcorp PLC is into oil and gas as well, and energy. So I want to welcome the man behind all of what we are doing today, Mr. He is a very simple person, so he doesn't like titles. Mr. Valentine Ozibo, to speak to us briefly, just before we bring Chief E.K. Clark to the platform. Let's hear from Mr. Valentine Ozibo, please.
Thank you so much, Oraye. Thank you, Dr. Mo. Thank you, Kibati. Thank you, the Emir, Kum Prophet, Kum Professor, everything in
Exactly.
one. Um, Let me seize this honor and pleasure to welcome my legend, Chief Edwin Clark, the man that has proven beyond reasonable doubt that he believes and loves the unity of Nigeria. He is one of those few people God has kept alive for a cause like this. I've had the privilege of listening to him in several occasions, and I can tell you, most times you will not see me without dropping tears, tears of joy, thanking God for his life, thanking God for, the words of wisdom that he usually shares and the passion he exudes. Quite frankly, um, I will tell everybody here, you are in for a good ride this evening with Chief Clark. He's somebody I respect passionately. I will tell you also that as the project we are on, P2B's project, wouldn't have the kind of bite it is having today if these legends haven't come together to basically push the agenda. And they did this not minding the pressure, the interest, the intrigues. There are several reasons why they should have backed out if we had acted like normal Nigerians, but they are not normal Nigerians. They are the people we should all be looking up to. And especially if you want to understand where we have come from, to know where we're headed. So I am excited this evening to listen to Chief Clark. And I remember yesterday when we were also talking to Pa Debanjo, he actually pleaded to be able to listen to Chief E.K. Clark as this session is on. So I hope we've brought in Emmanuel so that Pa Debanjo will be on this call. If that hasn't been done, it should be done immediately, please. And so it's on that note, I'm saying to everyone else, please enjoy this evening. Let's learn and let's inspire ourselves even the more. And let's hope for a better Nigeria. God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. No, it's like you said, it's a learning platform for us, for a lot of us who are young and may not have interacted with the history, that has made Nigeria what it is currently. Would like Kibati said, would like to get perspectives, from those who have lived it, those who have been there, and all that. So I'm also open to learning, as it were. Um, Chief is ready. Chief is ready. But when we're ready to have him, we'll read his profile so a lot of us know who they are interacting with. I know you know the name E.K. Clark, but we need to do him the honors of reading his official profile before we bring Chief on board, because we understand he's been set, for the program. Let's bring back Saddam. Saddam, you've been doing a lot of work. I just want you to, in 5 minutes, tell us, a bit more about the violence spaces, and what you've been doing for the couple of months, and what milestones you've achieved. Can you do that in 5 minutes, please?
Uh, my brother, it's your it's I don't even know where to start from, man. I just feel like
Just start from anywhere.
oh my goodness. Oh my God. We just thank God, Sean. Let me just say we thank the Lord. God has been good and faithful because
How did you start?
okay. Well, I used to be a Twitter bandit. I'll just start by that. I used to jump on spaces, People that know me know that I am that guy that used to go on different Twitter spaces to go and defend Peter Obi. And when we started, there were very few obedient spaces. In fact, I would say there were virtually very. I can count the numbers of obedient spaces we were having then. We just had boys running APC and PDP propaganda spaces, and I just stumbled on one of those spaces and I was hearing a whole lot of lies they were dishing out about Peter. Then Peter was still in PDP actually, when we're still saying give us Peter and the rest. So I jumped on one of those spaces and I requested for the mic, and unfortunately they gave me the mic, and I just went on this whole rant of trying to say the truth about the man. Peter is a very easy person to sell. If you know him, you know that he has his accomplishments are numerous to mention. So I just went on the rant and said all the stuff I could say. And all of a sudden, and it was a very, very, it's one of the guys, the most infamous guys on Twitter right now. I think Sakebi, everybody on this platform knows Sakebi. He was the one hosting that space. And he used to host a couple of spaces, So I became a regular. They now saw me like that Labour Party guy, that LP guy, that OB guy before Peter ported to Labour Party, And so anytime I come on space, I will see like space have 10 space. There are 10 spaces for people to speak, 10 speakers, and I'll be the only OB guy, and there'll be like 8 PDP guys, or so probably 5 PDP, 4 APC, and I'll be the only OB guy, and they'll take turns in bashing Peter. And when I come in, I'll just say my own. That's how we started. So it was virtually that way, and they kept suppressing obedient voices that comes up when you speak, they drop you, they speak, you drop. So it was out of the frustration of the whole gagging us. We're not able to speak our mind, and each time I speak, I get people following me, obedient people following me, and they'll be like, please, how can we do this? How can we? I like how you spoke. Thank you. How do you know Peter? And I'll be like, no, I don't know Peter. I'm fortunate to be that I know I'm from his state and I saw what he did, and that was how we started it. And people reached out to me. Then big shout out to some of our obedient people that started opening up spaces. Bishop, my brother Bishop opened up, started having his spaces then. So we started going on Bishop spaces. We had a chance to
Professor
speak.
Saddam,
My brother,
you have 20 seconds to wrap up because I've just gotten signal that
my brother, let me just wrap up
If
because
the clerk is ready.
please just take him now, because if I tell you violence space story, we will not live here. Just know that was how we started violence space, but probably later we'll have
That's
that
that,
space here. Thank you.
that's good to know, and you've really done well, along with every other person who is doing a lot to push the OB brand to ensure that our country, is reclaimed from these. I don't want to use the word, but it's okay.
Wait, you can use it on the
Ladies and
violence
gentlemen,
space, please.
yeah. So I understand Chief E.K. Clark is listening to us right now. So before we welcome him specially, let me kindly read his profile. Kindly indulge me, please. It's a bit lengthy, but it is worth it. So we can understand who this man is, what makes him tick, right? And what are his contributions to nation building. We cannot say everything, it is inexhaustive, but we would read the profile, which has compressed everything together. So, profile of Chief Dr. Edwin Kiagbodo Clark, Order of the Federal Republic, Commander of the Order of the Niger. Chief Dr. Edwin Kiagbodo Clark, OFR-CON, is the national leader of PANDEF. He is also the leader of the Southern and Middle Belt Leaders Forum, a patriotic alliance of key socio-cultural and regional organizations comprising Afenifere, Middle Belt Forum, Ohaneze Ndi-Igbo, and Pan-Niger Delta Forum, PANDEF, to promote peace, unity, and development, as well as to promote national consensus on topical issues. A lawyer, educationist, philanthropist, former senator, nationalist, and elder statesman par excellence, Chief E.K. Clark was Federal Commissioner, now Minister, for Information of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, during the regime of General Yakubu Gowon. I never knew that. Born in 1927 in Ohunware town in Jeremy Clan in Ugeli South Local Government Area, Delta State, South Nigeria. Chief Edwin Clark grew up in a privileged home with a rich pedigree. His early exposure to school and learning enabled him to develop the passion for education. He did so well in primary school that he was employed as a teacher as soon as he completed his primary school. Wow. Teaching and learning at the same time, young Edwin Clark was able to obtain the General Certificate of Education, GCE, at the ordinary and advanced levels. After which he left for the United Kingdom to pursue a degree in law in 1961. He successfully completed his law course and returned to Nigeria in 1965. He was called to the Nigerian bar after 3 months training at the Nigerian Law School, Lagos, in 1965. E.K. Clark had a very successful law practice in Warri, Delta State, where he endeared himself to the people by being always available for them on the numerous and challenging cases over age-long oppression, domination, and inequitable distribution of the common patrimony in the heterogeneous society that Nigeria is. He equally became quite outspoken about the issues affecting the people. This soon led to his popularity as a man of the people who stands for the rights of the people and opposes man's inhumanity to man. It was this straightforward and outspoken character that led to his recognition and appointment by the government at the time. He was appointed Commissioner for Education and later Commissioner for Finance, Midwest, that's Bendel State, former Bendel State. E.K. Clark was the moving spirit and one-man council of the then Midwest Institute of Technology, which the General Ogbemudia administration established, and he became the first pro-chancellor and chairman of council when the institute was transformed to the University of Benin. What a history. As a national leader, Edwin Clark used his office as Commissioner of Education to encourage cooperation and collaboration with other governments across the country. This resulted in teachers' exchange program with the Eastern states soon after the Civil War as a core strategy of national reintegration and rehabilitation. Chief E.K. Clark was later appointed Commissioner for Information at the federal level by the former head of state, General Yakubu Gowon, and got to the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria thereafter. From the situation and experience in Warri, Chief E.K. Clark clearly saw the plight of minority ethnic groups and how they were under political, economic, and social yoke of the majority groups. From the 1960s to date, Chief E.K. Clark has remained a strong voice for the Niger Delta people and other minority ethnic groups of Nigeria. Over the years, he has distinguished himself by his consistent and steadfast outspoken advocacy about minority oppression and subjugation, and has risen to become not only the leader and the paladin of the Niger Delta cause, but a national crusader for political and social justice. He understands the strong desire for emancipation incubating in the hearts of the minorities of Nigeria, and strongly maintains that Nigeria should be a country where no man is oppressed and where equity, justice, and fairness, political and economic equity prevails. E.K. Clark's love for education and his knowledge of the critical role of education in national development and cohesion, and in fulfillment of his vision of providing learning space for teeming youth population of Nigeria and the Niger Delta region in particular, established the Edwin Clark University, Kiagbodo, Delta State, in 2016. Chief Dr. E.K. Clark is a recipient of the National Honors of Commander of the Order of the Niger, CON, and Officer of the Order of the Niger, of the Officer of the Federal Republic, OFR. He has also received numerous honors, awards, and recognitions from several socio-cultural groups, community-based groups, institutions, professional organizations, local and international, for his numerous service to the nation, Niger Delta region, and humanity in general. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me to welcome the legend himself, Chief E.K. Clark, OFR CON. You're welcome, sir.
I think you need to accept the request. He's made a request. Elect Dati. Look for it and accept. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, elect that is now a speaker. Chief, can you hear us, sir?
As I said, Happy New Year again. You're welcome.
Happy New Year, sir.
Very much.
Chief, you're welcome to the program, sir.
Very much.
Nigerians from around the country are tuned in, including Nigerians from around the world, one of which I am. We're tuned in to listen to you, to draw from your wealth of knowledge and experience of the Nigerian condition, as it were. So we're eager to learn, and we're excited that you made out the time to join us. We're very grateful. You're welcome, sir. So I'll go straight to the point. You're nationally renowned as the leader of the Ijaw ethnic nationality and a statesman who has made valuable contributions to nation building. Sir, can you give us a sense of the position of the Ijaw ethnic nationality on the 2023 general elections?
Thank you very much. Well, I usually would not like to be drawn into ethnicity discussion. Well, however, yes, I'm the leader of the Ijaw. I'm their father. We believe that I'm a leader who is competent, a leader who will protect the interests of the majority and the minority. Having regard to the fact that right number 1957, the issue was raised by our late leader, Kiagbodo, that the jobs were not looked after. Their problem was not understood by the rest of the government. And as a result, it protested to the British government, the colonial government, and they appointed willing commission on the eve of the independent declaration of Nigeria. And the willing commission recommended that the problems of the riverine people were not being understood by those in government. And that something had to be done to treat them as a special people area. And as a result, the Niger Delta Basin Authority was proposed and established in 1958, I think, with Senator Amakare Gwofa, who was the permanent secretary, as the secretary. And one Chief Anthony from Grass was the chairman to the headquarters along the road in Port Harcourt. And the British government went further to say that the interest of this body has to be protected, and therefore it will be expressed in the Constitution. So it was so done.
In 1963, the Republican Constitution, that this body will remain in the Constitution and would operate for 10 years without any disturbance from anybody. But unfortunately, the war broke out, and that constitution had to be suspended or scrapped. But then the spirit of Willis Commission has been haunting us. We feel that we are not being taken care of. So for us to have a leader, a president of this country, we must look at a person who is broad-minded, who is a Nigerian, who is competent, who has the sympathy of his people, who is patriotic, and who has respect for other people's feelings. We don't want a dictator, and that's what we feel. So all along, we've been having Tafawa Balewa as our prime minister. At this juncture, let me say this. I do not agree with the northeastern people zone of Nigeria that they've never had a president of Nigeria. The position of the prime minister at the time was equal to the one of the president in waiting today. The president is waiting today. So to say that they have not got the president is not true. We have all got it. Earlier in the years of 1952, 53, Nigeria was like a pot standing on three legs. The cooking pot, big one, standing on three legs. One leg was for the northern region, one leg for the western region, and the other for the eastern region. During the war, one of the legs got broken up, and we have not been steady. We have not been stabilized as we should be. There's a lot of suspicion, no trust. So we feel that Nigeria should be a nation whereby everybody is equal. Until that is done, we will be living in the country like South Africa of those days before Mandela. What am I saying? The western region has got the presidency of this country, the head of state, when Obasanjo ruled from 1976 to 79 and became a president for 8 years. Even Choneko had it for 3 months. Then the Northerners, from 1956 to 1999, or with a short break when Chagari was president, have been ruling the country. They had opportunity. They were good men, no doubt, but that ethnicity feeling made them to create local governments where villages became states or local governments, where wards became local government. To imagine, I know Kano is a big place. To imagine that Kano had 44 local governments, all drawing their location fiscal something from the federal government. Each month, Kano State, through the local government, got about 6 billion naira. Then Bayelsa State, The producer of oil, where the oil started in Loibre, they have only 8 local government councils. I don't know how they came about it. I grew up in those areas. I know how big they are. So today we have only 8 local governments. Take for example, it was decided that the federal government that 10,000 policemen should be recruited. And so the chairman of the Police Service Commission, Michael Kiro, said it should be done on state level. The Inspector General of Police said no. And the president said no, it should be on local government. So today, what is going on? Out of the 10,000 policemen, Kano had 440 40 policemen, and Pastor said that's 80. Is that fair? No. So today, what is going on? Nigeria looks like a country whereby some citizens of this country are just like men or lookers. Nobody listens to them. They complain. We talk about restructuring. Nobody cares. Then you have Mr. President, who decides to concentrate on one part of this country, of the country, in his own region. Out, for instance, out of 17 security boss men, 14 of them came from the north, from one side, not from the south. So we cannot have such type of thing. So the leader we are looking for should be a Nigerian, a patriotic Nigerian, a Nigerian who is not influenced by religion, a Nigerian who is not too much influenced by ethnicity. The South have got their turn. So we believe that now that the North that ruled for 8 years should now come down to the South. That's what we are talking about. And if it comes to the South, let it go to Southeast. Not because they are Igbos, not because that's any other thing. We are talking about region. We are talking about citizenship, equality of faith, and so on. That is the position. So we believe that we need a leader, a president who is very broad-minded, who is very free, very patriotic, humble, a man who understands everybody. That's what we want. And I saw this last time in 2019 when PDP met and said the zoning should be resumed, resuscitated after Jonathan. So it was agreed that the North should produce the next president. And about 13 of them, including Atiku Abubakar, Saraki, Tambuwa, and many others, David Mark, and so forth. They were all interviewed, screened in my house here by our people. At that time, we were working hand in hand with the Northern Elders Forum, led by Ango Abdullahi. And we did a good job. But Atiku was rigged out. But then I saw his running mate as a very competent fellow, very unassuming. And I said, I wish this was the presidential candidate. But now, God has made it that you should have the opportunity to wanting to become the president of Nigeria. So one is supporting him not because he's an Igbo man. He's very competent. He's down to earth. He's reasonable. He's intelligent. He's a professional. So everything we need in a leader, he has it. Very patriotic. He has sympathy for everybody. Incorruptible. That is the most important thing. When it was realized that this very man ruled Anambra State for 8 years, during that period of 8 years, he saved money, over 76 billion naira. And for his, successor, this has never happened. Like what we are doing now today in Nigeria, we now say that, oh, yes, we are owing so much. The government said, no, let's be owing them. The next government will start to pay. What type of country? So corruption is what is worrying us. And we need someone who will put his foot down and say, no more corruption. So that is my feeling, and nothing more about the leadership. So what I'm saying is what my people are saying. I think we have come to a stage today where many Nigerians are not voting for political parties. They are voting for personality. They are voting for the leader, the person who can rule them, the person who can discipline Nigeria. There's no discipline in this country. No sanction. Herdsmen moving around with AK-7. Nobody has ever arrested one. So we are in trouble. People are trying to court. You don't know when they are tried and convicted or discharged. So, for instance, look at the case of Mango, the head of the EFCC in those days. When he was being tried by a committee set up by the Mr. President, everybody thought that President would announce the result of that inquiry. Up to today, no. Rather, Mango was promoted and retired. These are some of the things we don't want in this society. The other day I was reading. I listened to the case between the Governors Forum and the Attorney General over Paris Club money, where some Nigerian lawyers said that they were consultants. So we're talking about billions of naira to be clean. And you see the argument between them, you can see that this is part of corruption that's going on. The governors are saying, why should the Attorney General be interested? The Attorney General says, no, you have agreed. There was a consent judgment. I've taken trouble to analyze all this. Perhaps it will form part of my memoirs. We are in trouble. Nigeria needs a savior. Otherwise, we will collapse. God forbid.
Chilling words there.
Eh?
Very chilling words. You say we're in trouble, yes, and Nigeria needs a savior, otherwise we'll collapse. And that's the reality, sir.
Thank
That's
you.
the That's the reality. Very
Thank you very
chilling
much.
words. Thank you for giving us perspective. I want to bring in my colleague, Kibati. I'm sure she has a question for you, sir.
Good.
Kibati,
Good
please.
evening, sir. Good evening, sir. Thank you so much for joining
Good
us.
evening, my daughter.
Well,
Well done.
I'd been, I had been. Thank you, sir. I'd been looking forward to this space. I believe that myself and particularly young people have so much to learn from you, and It's been so it's insightful so far. I have a question for you about this
Thank you.
particular election. Sir, I'm sure you'll agree that this is probably the most consequential election of at least of my generation. So many young Nigerians are fired up more than ever before, to see this dream come to life, a reality. I have so many friends who have never voted before, participated in the process. Some of them have never been qualified to vote, and everyone is so excited. But you brought up this thing about different ethnic nationalities, power rotation and all that. I have a question for you about ethnic nationalities, and
Thank you.
Mr. Peter Obi. Are you privy to any conversation? Are you aware of any conversation? And can you brief us between ethnic nationalities? About the consensus on Mr. Peter Obi's candidacy. Can you tell us if you've been privy, if you're aware of any conversation,
Between
between
who and who?
between different ethnic nationalities
Oh yes, oh
about the
yes,
candidacy of Mr. Peter Obi? Can you brief us, sir?
yes. Thank you very much. Um, um, uh, I, as Edwin Clark, is one of those who are very much involved in these discussions. I am the leader of Southern and Middle Belt Forum, Leaders Forum. Afenifere is involved, Pandex is involved, Ohanese is involved, and the Middle Belt. And we've been talking about one Nigeria, having one Nigeria, a united Nigeria where everybody is equal, and where everybody feels that he is not being discriminated against. So we've been talking about this, not Obi at first. We have been talking, and we want restructuring of the country, and we believe that if this country is restructured, there will be better life for everybody. Nigeria will survive as a country. But that is not coming because Mr. President paid a deaf ear, doesn't care about what people say in this country. Once he gives his order, everybody must obey. I think we are past that stage. We are in a democratic country. Mr. President is not an emperor. Mr. President is not a king. He's not a dictator. He's not a military ruler. He should come out and listen to people. So now that he's completing his time, we Nigerians should know that we do not want another President Muhammad Buhari again. We want someone who is quite different, who is open minded, who is intelligent, who listens to other people's views, who has a government, who meets with his cabinet and they take decisions at all times. Now, so we have been talking about Peter Obi. I felt that if we have Peter Obi, he will solve most of the problem we are suffering from. At the same time, we said that Southeast should have a president that will also solve that problem. So we have been talking about him, and we feel that you mentioned the youth. That has been our problem. Our youth in the past turned themselves to be thugs or mercenary moving around, snatching boxes, doing all sorts of things, shooting guns all about. Until the last demonstration by the young ones. That was a fantastic one. And most of us believe that that was the beginning of good things to come. And they have shown it. And luckily enough, they all seem to have preferred Mr. Peter Obi to any other candidate. You can see that in the streets. You can see that even with a 10-year-old girl or boy. So we have been talking about Peter Obi. I have met with him several times, and our group has also met with him. That's why on the 3rd of January, I decided to endorse him as the leader of Pandex. Pandex has also taken a decision with the others. Last Thursday, we unanimously agreed that we should endorse Peter Obi and work for him in the interest of Nigeria, not the interest because he's an Igbo man. That's what we have done. I listened to a group of my friends in the West, Southwest, and I was a bit ashamed looking at the caliber of leaders we have. I respect so much. Going to Akure to say that they are the Afiniferis, knowing fully well that our papa had retired from politics, and has handed over to his assistant. So, as far as I'm concerned, the youth should now not only be moving around elders, should take it as a duty. Go and vote. When you vote, you will elect the president you want. A leader will come that will say, yes, I'm the leader of this country, I'm the president of this country, commander-in-chief of this country. So that is the position. Have I answered your question? Hello?
Yes, sir, you have. Yes, sir, you
No
have.
interest
You
anyway.
have.
I will talk more. What do
I
you
want to
want?
ask you. Yes, sir. A follow-up question, sir. What about the Northern Elders Forum? There's been a lot of suspense about whether or not they would endorse Peter Obi's candidacy. But have you been in conversation with them, or in any form
We
of
have been,
alignment with
we are
them?
not on a regular basis. And you know very well that Ango Abdullahi is is progressive in his ideas, and sometimes we quarrel when I say money. He said you are too much of an job. So, but we we have agreed. We agreed together that we need a competent fellow. We need an intelligent fellow. We need somebody who is strong, health wise. That's what we want. We don't need and we need old men. Biden will make again, but he's mentally alert. He's strong. He has experience. For instance, one of these candidates in Nigeria has contested, had wanted to be president for the past 5 years, 5 times. Is the country meant for him alone? To the extent that he's scuttled the issue of zoning. He wants to be president at all time, at all cost. So these are the things the youth should now realize that these people will not help them. The man will put the world. So I believe that the youths who are now following him are doing the right thing. And on the 25th of February, they should go and cast their vote and elect the president of their liking. Thank you. As for Ango
Thank
July, we
you.
will talk again. We talk from time to time, and he to believe that we need a competent fellow to be president of Nigeria. He doesn't have to be an Ijaw man. He doesn't have to be a Fulani man. A Nigerian who is a citizen of Nigeria, no matter wherever he comes from. Now, that's why I said people are not thinking about party. People are not thinking about tribe or wherever you come from. We are talking about competent person, a leader. Our failure in government is because we lack good leadership. So I'm appealing to all the youths to exercise their votes on that fateful day. And I'm going to discuss with my friend Ango Abdullahi. These are areas we must work together to build a united Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. It's so inspiring to see that leaders at your level are having conversations beyond ethnic lines and across the country, both north and south. I believe that's what we should take out of this conversation. That there are ongoing conversations,
No, I
and
may even add now. Let me add this. Recently,
yes, sir.
some of our members felt that there should be a regular meeting of the elders across the country. So,
Yes.
former governor of Akwa Ibom State, Obongata, is leading our group with Ahmed, who is the spokesman of Northern Platform, who is his vice. They report to us. So we are meeting. We have met with Ango Abdullah's group for 5 times at Sheraton Hotel. And myself and himself, we were co-chairmen. We are always co-chairmen. We have spoken to the government through communiques we have produced. So we must meet. A few days ago, I was with Alaji Tanko Yakatai. We discussed. So I'm in touch with my northern friends and elders at all times. Some people
Thank you, sir.
believe. Yeah, thank you.
No, go ahead. I didn't want to cut you. I
No,
thought
no,
you
no.
had
Go
stopped.
on. Go on. Go on.
Okay. Thank you for confirming that there are conversations ongoing. Thank you so
Yes.
much. I believe that will settle a lot of people. That it's not just a Southern conversation; it's a Nigerian conversation about the
It's a
future
Nigerian
of our.
conversation. For instance, this
Thank you,
body,
sir.
which is representing us, where is Ida? They met with the peace committee of the former head of state, Abdul Salam Abubakar, recently when they met. So there is a forum where we are meeting and will continue to meet. Let me warn. The North alone cannot rule this country. The South alone cannot rule this country. Nigeria has now got 36 legged port. If parts of it are broken, the Nigeria will be shaken. So we must work towards equality of states, equality and everything. To that end, we must put our heads together. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. I'm sure a lot of people are eager to ask you questions, further questions. But before we let
Yes,
them speak,
on.
before we let them speak, I have a colleague who has been itching, to ask you a question. So let me bring in Saddam to ask his questions, and then we can open up the platform for Nigerians to interact with you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. Put him on.
Um, Good evening, sir.
Good evening. What is
How
the
are you doing
name?
today, sir?
Fine.
Emir Saddam.
Thank you.
How are you doing today, sir?
Fine.
Sir, mine is not something difficult. I want to reconfirm, please, sir. Are you really please know, with all due respect, sir, you are 95 years, right?
I'm going to
Oh
96.
my
I'm
goodness.
going to
Oh
96.
wow!
I'll be 90 on the 25th of May this year.
Oh wow! I know
Wow.
why Saddam asked that question.
Yes,
I
go
know why
on.
Saddam.
Please
Why?
allow me to cook.
Go
I
ahead.
want to cook, sir.
Go on.
Because it is, first of all, before you go, sir, please, I think you give us your routine. For young Nigerians, you give us your what you take, what you drink, what you eat, how you exercise, how you live. Because I want to recommend it for some people. There's
Thank you.
someone that is saying he's 71 years or 70 years, and we can't hear him speak. We don't even know he's always bulabaling everywhere. And I'm here listening to you, and I'm wondering, is this man really 95 years, or he's the one that is 71 years and the other man is 95 years? But thank you very much, sir, for presenting yourself. We have been here for the past 1 hour, and you're speaking and you don't even want to stop. You
Thank
see,
you.
but some people, they, they're on the campaign and they speak for 2 minutes and they'll push them out for. I think you should be the
Thank
one contesting for presidency on that party. But thank you, sir. I just want to ask you a question on I just on the lighter notes, I just want to ask you a question on restructuring.
Yes.
Our generation, many people, when they hear the word restructuring, they get
Mm.
triggered. Many people from different parts of the country, they get triggered because they don't really understand. For some people, like I grew up in the north, and that word restructuring is a very dicey word over in the north. It looks like you're about to divide the country in a way that they don't understand. But you coming from the first republic up until now, you understand the dynamics of Nigeria very well. So I want you to if you can explain to Nigerians on this space right now, young Nigerians listening that are scared anytime they hear a government promise restructuring. What does restructuring actually mean in the term of
Thank you.
you? How do you understand the word restructuring, sir? Thank you.
Restructuring, thank you very much. Restructuring did not start today. Even during the military, they were restructuring. There was restructuring. During the Macpherson Constitution, there was restructuring. That is, let us do this, add this, subtract this. This is why the government should go on, reduce the amount of money that goes to the region, or increase the amount that goes to the state or to the federal government. This is all restructuring. Restructuring means that, like, let's take it from the 1999 Constitution. You find that the 1999 Constitution cannot be regarded as the people's constitution because there was nowhere where Nigerians sat down to think about a new constitution. However, we got one which is very much unitary in form, but there are a lot of things that shows what we want, but they are never well. So restructuring means that, like somebody said today, Nigeria is too big to have one system of Chief Obasanjo, to have one system of police, to have one federal police. So we are asking for the creation of a state policemen. And if that is done, that's part of restructuring. That's what called restructuring. We are saying that the federal government has about 64 items exclusive to it. Let us have a devolution of powers to the states. The states should take up agriculture. The states should take up education. The states should take so many things, health. But the federal government had gone even to the level of running secondary school, primary school. That is not. The federal government should only regulate, be like using the NUC to regulate the various institutions. So what am I saying? That we want a situation whereby the states will perform the jobs meant for the states. If you look at, I think, Section 5 or 2 of the Constitution, the president, Section 5 1 says that the president has executive power to rule the country subject to, it didn't say that it's absolute, subject to certain areas. For example, the state governments are independent of the federal government. They are not appendages. They have their own orders. They are the chief security officers of their state. There's enough for them to do under Section 5(2), I think, of the Constitution, where power is given to them, where they take care of themselves, of their area, their legislatures, their local government, and so forth. I have always said that Mr. President believes in restructuring. He knows what restructuring means, but he wants to go it alone by issuing executive orders. What do they mean? Executive Order 10 was turned down by the Supreme Court the other day. President APC as a party in 2014 talked so much about restructuring as one of the things they were going to do. And since then, they forgot about it. The 2014 National Conference, of which we were all members, made 600 recommendations. And if put into practice, Nigeria would be a changed place. I remember at the end of that conference, I was sitting down with my colleague, Professor Jibril Aminu. He said, at the end, he said, a new Nigeria has been born. So, and I remember that day, the Emir, His Royal Majesty, the Emir of the Lamido of Adamawa, said that those of you who are arguing, you have no place to go to. But those of us in Adamawa, we have another state, Adamawa state in the Cameroon. And you people, when the trouble comes, you have no place to go to. But at the end of the conference, I went to him, paid him respect. You will never go back to the Cameroon. So we laughed. All that we are saying is that every aspect of government should be examined. And the states should have their powers. They should have all what they want. The local government, as we said, leave them to the states to create local government, pay them. If they want to create 200 local government in their area, let them go on. But don't use federal money. So when you look at El Rufai's report, it was just like the 1914 National Conference. Their recommendations. They believe that there should be a state police. And they even made a memo to be taken to the National Assembly as to what to be changed and what not to be changed. So those who do not understand are the people talking about restructuring. We don't know what type of restructuring we want. We have been restructuring. Creating more states is a restructuring. For example, in 2014, we recommended that there should be 18 more states created in the country to give everybody sense of belonging. I give you an example. For instance, take Benue State, for example. Since 1999, I do not think an Idoma man had become a governor of that state. But if more states are created, they will be able to take care of themselves. California is the largest state in America, but it goes with states like Rhode Island and so on, New Jersey and so on. No one is bigger than the other. California competes with other countries in the world, but it's part of America. So the mere fact that Kano State is there, Lagos State is there, does not prevent Bayelsa existing as a state of equality, of having equal status. So we want restructuring of this country. That's the thing. They should understand. They know. They believe that when you restructure the oil producing communities, will take all the money. No, that's physical uh, restructuring, where money should be shared. In what way? These are all made up, provided for. So there is nobody whose life is going to change because of restructuring. Rather, they will have more money. It will make them to look inward. If your area is farm like uh, Western Nigeria in those days when they had cocoa, Northern Nigeria when they had granite, pyramids, everybody was on his own. Nobody was envy of the other. All the states were moving. They were moving at their own pace. We all cannot move together. Is it not a shame, a disgrace for 36 states to come to Abuja wanting to share money? Whose money? So these are the problems we are facing. And some of us believe that those who produce certain resources should be compensated for. For instance, the PIB, look at the law. The president rushed to sign it. They approve only 3% for the host countries, communities, and approve 30% of NNPC money to look for oil in the north. It's not. It's very discriminatory, very oppressive. Unless this country is structured, there will be problem. And any president that is elected, if it does not follow restructuring, will find it difficult to succeed. Restructuring is the word. Everybody knows that. Let us not pretend. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. On the follow up, sir. Well, first of all, say, sir, I am blown away. Honestly, listening to you quote the Constitution, me say I won't lie. I don't know the Constitution, so them not come out now from like I don't know. Honestly,
Perhaps I'm
I
just
am.
saying it. I don't know whether I was quoting the right thing.
Sir, whether you quote the wrong word or hey, God have mercy. Sir, please, you didn't answer my first question. I want to understand your how, what do you eat? What do you drink? Do you take, it's your diet, in your diet, do you have roasted corn? I want to know what you eat, sir, please. Let me, because 95 years and you're this sound
Listen to
in
me.
mind.
I'm a very simple man. I live from day to day, and I believe that my heart is open to everybody. I learn from people. People learn from me. I'm a friend of many people, and so for instance, during the war, Midwest State had led our people to assist the Igbos, to assist the North, supplying them teachers, workers. So I have been a Nigerian and I believe in it. So there is no special food I take. I don't drink hot drinks, but I take very non-alcoholic drinks, and I eat
Sir, you
the
said it.
normal food I eat at
This is a
home.
secret, this is a secret that you have revealed, sir, and we have taken this one.
Sir,
We need
how
to
many wives do you have, please?
Many wives. I have a wife,
Oh,
and let me say this to you. My life, I live from day to day because I believe one day be one day, because only God knows when death will come, how it will come, where it will take place. So I don't have any type of life different from what I, I started living when I was young. One of the things that perhaps helped me. I come from a very good family without being immodest. Perhaps he must have had of Professor J.P. Clark, John Pepper Clark, the poet. You must have heard of Ambassador B.A. Clark, Nigerian permanent representative at the United Nations. We are same mother, same father. We eat together from the same pot. We sit down and talk. We exchange views. We have no enemies. Let me say this to you. Perhaps you may not know. In 1961, I went to London to study law, and I was one of the British Council guests. I stayed in Hans Crescent, near Harrods, near Nice Bridge. And we used to take buses 93 and 97, bus 9 to go to town. And one day, the students met. We had many. Joey Ruku, for example, was a member of that place. They met and said they wanted me to be the president of Hans Crescent, where there were Australians, New Zealand, and East Africans, and so on. And I ruled that place for 2 years. So I'm a Nigerian. So I practice moving with people from time to time. I do not discriminate. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for giving us this secret, sir. The one I've taken is that you drink you don't take alcohol.
No,
So
but I drink like Campari.
okay.
What of palm wine, sir?
Oh, I do, but not
Do you
regularly.
guys
Now that
ignored?
one in Abuja.
You,
Sir, you did
you
not answer my
ignored the
question
fact that
of.
he said he has only one wife. Well done,
So we
no.
are coming to that now. Calm
He
down.
only has one wife. Hope you are listening.
Sir, sir, you did not answer my question of the roasted corn. Do you
Roasted
eat?
corn.
Yes.
Listen, in the evening here, I eat roasted corn, boiled corn from time to
Yeah.
time with coconut.
Now be careful of this Saddam. Oh. There's where he's going, but let's leave it at that.
Where are you going? I'm still a strong
Don't mind.
man.
Don't mind.
Is
I
that
want to
what
I'm
you
not
bring.
want to
going
know?
anywhere,
Up,
sir.
I want to bring up another
I'm
of my.
still a strong man.
Yeah, sure. By all means, we can attest to that, sir. We can attest to
Thank
that.
you.
By all
Thank you.
means, yeah. I want to bring up another colleague of mine, Dr.
Yes.
Mo. Dr. Mo has been itching to ask you one question. Yes, I can see
the-
your hand. I can see your hand, President something. But Dr. Mo, please, can you come up to ask Chief your question?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we
yes,
can hear you loud.
I hear you.
Okay, if I say Papa, it fits into your profile. If I say Daddy, it fits into your profile. If I say Chief, whatever title, it fits into your profile. But much more than that, even if I call you by your name, Edwin Clark,
Yes.
what makes
Yes.
a legend is that you have your name is a title by itself. So you are a true legend by every standard and yardstick. And the
Absolutely.
the question I'm itching to ask also takes root from your response on equality in a nation like Nigeria. Given all the um, where we are, our evolution as a people. But you can also see, because of our diversity too, I believe there are certain roadblocks. There are reasons why we haven't achieved this feat. You know, I know it's a serious question. It's not. We're coming from just asking you about what you eat and all of that. What are these roadblocks, and what could be inhibiting the quality of Nigerians, and how can we remove these blocks? Because without it, we can achieve this equality. That you spoke about when you commented on the restructuring. Because you're really big on this. So I don't know if you get what I mean. Because How do we move? How do we remove? Because there are roadblocks, given our diversity and who we are as a people. How do we move from? How do we remove those roadblocks? How? What are the dynamics? What are we going to do to be able to get those things out of the way so that we can chart the course of our equality as a people?
Thank you very much. Well, I think the first thing I would like to mention to you, one of the roadblocks is lack of trust. We don't trust ourselves. We don't believe in ourselves. There's suspicion here and there. These are the major block. We don't trust one another, and people believe in religion more than believing in their code Nigerian fellow Nigerians. People believe in ethnicity. So to remove some of these blocks that I've mentioned, let every Nigerian, whether particularly when they are in school, let them know that they are all Nigerians. That when the Lugard created amalgamated Nigeria, he did not say that the South will be superior to the North or the North will be superior to the South. Everybody was equal. Nigeria is 10 years. Oh, Lord Lugard amalgamated us. He had two protectorates. And those of us who read history, we look at this thing. Enugu was there in 2006, in 1906. There was no amalgamation. Warri was there when the white man leased our land, Ogbujo land, where I come from, in 1906. So what am I saying? The mere fact that we've come together is not enough for some people to believe that they are superior to the others. So to remove these blocks we are talking about, I've mentioned some of them. Number two, let our children go to school. Education. If you have education, they are learning in the same place. No problem. And this provision in the Constitution, federal character, we either practice it or we cancel it. Not when it suits you, you know there's federal character. When it doesn't suit you, there's no federal character. These are some of the blocks. So, for instance, there are three children in the Unity School in Agbaro, in a Delta. They took entrance examination to go to University of Benin. During the jam, one scored 200, another one scored 600, 300, another one scored 500. Now you find that the man who scored 500 was not taken. The man who scored 300 was not taken, but the man who scored 200 is taken. And the children come back to ask, Daddy, what is happening? My friend who scored only 200, he's taken at in the University of Benin. I also applied. They didn't take me, and I scored 500. This is where the lack of confidence in ourselves start. And the children, when they see this, they also believe. There is a demarcation. There is question of class. Why am I entitled to this and my fellow Nigerians not entitled to it? These are children. So the first thing to do, mass education. So I was very happy in those days when President Jonathan, started the emergency schools that he built in Sokoto and other places. And I believe that unless we are aware, it it will be difficult to remove some of the blocks because we are not sufficiently enlightened. So that's some of the things. Then another one, corruption. When you are corrupt and you are doing everything okay, nobody stops you and so on. But the day you are caught, you will now say. So these are some of the roadblocks that we have to take away if we want a united Nigeria. Develop all the roads in the west, the southwest, not caring what happens to roads in the south, and people begin to complain. These are some of the things. Let us have broad-minded people to rule us. So that is the position. I think these are some of the blocks you are talking about. And let us have ministers who are properly tuned, educated, not to have a degree. That is not education. Some of them cannot take decision. They go into what do you call it? To the meeting. Some of them will sit down listening. Everything said by Mr. President is taken. I remember, let me say this to you. In 1967, General Bomodia wanted to appoint me as a commissioner. And he said he consulted some people. My name was there and so on. They told him, that man is very controversial. Oh. That man will not obey you. So he said, no, I'm not looking for people who will only listen to me. But I also want people who will criticize me, who will tell me where I go wrong. So when I came in, this is what he told me. So when he took me, those people say, you made a mistake. We told you not to take Clark there. They said, I took him deliberately. And I became his best commissioner. I was regarded as deputy governor of Midwest State. What am I saying? Let us respect one another. We intermarry. I have children from the north. As I talk to you now, they are Muslims. One of them goes to Mecca. Do I quarrel with him? We live in the same house. That is why today, and let me say this, one of the reasons why I criticized APC was that this Muslim, if in 2014 or 13, Buhari was to become the presidential candidate and Tinubu was to be his running mate, and they kicked. People like Saraki and others kicked that no, it's not good to have Muslim. And he dropped it. And he brought the present VP, Sibajo. What has now changed? That the same Tinubu is picking a Muslim to be his running mate. These are the problems we are facing in this country. So we are building roadblocks, knowingly that this is so. I think we must. Then again, you find that some people believe that they are born to rule this country. Nobody is born to rule this country. These are one of the problems we are having. So the blocks are many. So it is difficult to put them, but through education, through restructuring, everybody knows what he wants in his place and so on. So that is the position.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. We have less than 30 minutes to wrap up. So very quickly, we'll open the mic so that people can contribute and ask you
Thank
questions.
you.
So I
Thank you.
to our fellow citizens who have been itching. Dr. Great Oracle, I can see your hand. Don't worry, we will call to the mic. They've been itching to ask Baba, our father, questions. Kindly be brief, please, so he can address.
Saddam, yeah, before we bring on more speakers, I think more Nigerians deserve to join the space. Please, for everyone listening to the space, share it. Please share it on your timelines. Let's have more people inside in here. Come on, I mean, this conversation is so engrossing. I've learned so much, and I think more people deserve to join us. So please, please, use the hashtag The Living Legend, and tell all your followers to please join us. We only have about 20 something minutes. I believe we're going to end 8 o'clock on the dot.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But Baba, except Baba wants to give us extra time.
We will not mind, though.
Go ahead.
Baba, can we borrow more time from you?
Oh, well, let's go on. I'm strong. I'm a strong man.
Yeah,
you're stronger than Bulaba.
So
Saddam, behave yourself.
We'll take this to add another 30 minutes, sir. Is that fine?
It's okay. Go
Thank
on.
you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
So quickly, Kibati and Saddam, kindly bring people to the mic and let's be brief, please.
Yeah, I think Saddam already called the Great Oracle. He's on stage
Great
here
Oracle,
with us.
please go ahead.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Thank you for having me on. First, let me express words of gratitude to you, Baba, for the tremendous work you've done for the growth of our country over the years. Perhaps too,
thank you
for all you continue to do. When we were at the national conference in 2014, I think I need to remind the younger ones who are asking how old you are. You're going to 96 now. At the confab, you were in your mid-80s, going to your late 80s. You kept reminding us younger ones at the confab that some of you were at the departure lounge. That was a phrase we younger ones left the conference with. But this is my gratitude here. Each time we ended our plenary sessions and we ended up having interest groups meeting in your house, always into the early hours of the morning, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, we break up and return to our different hotels. You are always the first person at 9 a.m. to report at the venue of the conference at the National Judicial Council Complex in Abuja. And also want to remind the younger ones, there was a day we were supposed to move an important motion at the national conference. And we wanted unity among the ethnic interest groups at the national conference. Ohanese, the Pandef, the TIV Middle Belt Forum. You appointed me as the timekeeper, as the gatekeeper, to stay at the door and take names of our delegates from the South, East, and Middle Belt, who will be at the conference, to vote on that day. I saw it as a privilege, but as a young man in my mid-40s, I didn't think you would turn up early at the conference. Surprisingly, at about 8:35 that Wednesday morning, you turned up asking for me, Mahmoud, and asking for those who were already at the conference. Unfortunately, for very obvious reasons, we won the debate that day, but the co-chairman of the conference, for reasons very obvious to him, ruled against us. I thank you for all you do, all you continue to do, all you continue to do for our country. If there's anything that the younger ones must learn, is those little secrets, that have kept you with us until this moment and beyond. And your commitment, to this country. I saw Nigerians who were not Ijos, who were your friends, who attended meetings with us, sometimes at your home and at other times at Chief Dokpesi's house. And I saw that camaraderie that existed between your group. My My group as young, I was 44, 45, but I was termed the youth at the national conference. But there were other younger elements who were in their 20s, who were members of the National Association of Nigerian Students, who were at the conference. Perhaps going forward, we'll continue to thank you for all you do and pray that God keeps you alive.
Thank you.
And finally, perhaps condolences as well on the death of your brother, J.P. Clark. This is my question, sir. We have been on this trajectory for restructuring for many years. At the confab, we came up with some of the most beautiful resolutions, conferences any conference can produce in our history. We know Buhari abandoned it and threw it into the trash can. Are we hopeful that Obi's presidency will implement some of the star resolutions of the national conference? That's my question, sir. Thank you. My name is Mahmoud, sir.
Mahmoud? What is your name?
Abdul. Abdul from Auchi.
Ogbo.
Oh, sir. Mo, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Now, well, it's a good question you've asked. And once I want you to come and see me anytime you are free. I want to discuss with you. Thank you for the compliments you paid to me. Now, to the question you mentioned, you asked. Obi is a very progressive fellow, very practical. He knows that bringing youths into the government, state, education was at the lowest, health was at the lowest. He had to reorganize. Reorganization means restructuring. Restructuring doesn't mean divide and you have your own. I will take my money. You will have nothing. No. Obi will restructure Nigeria. And I'm very sure I've discussed it with him. Because when he came here to see me, I told him, I said, I want to know. There are many of us who believe that there should be restructuring before election. But we thought that government will hold the election whether we like it or not. And if we boycott it, we'll be the losers. So Obi will be able to restructure Nigeria. It's not one man's job. Let me say this. My son, I discovered that Mr. President has not shown enough of sincerity and honesty in what he's doing. He does not want restructuring, but he's doing restructuring through executive orders. You want independence of the judiciary, you want independence of the local government. These were things we recommended in the national conference. So then he set up this Air Rufai. Air Rufai said that they have met the executive of APC met. Chief John Oyegu confirmed it. But Mr. President, in his usual way, does not care. He does not believe that you will have we should have restructuring. So I want to repeat that Peter Obi is mentally alert, very intelligent, very well exposed. He knows what is happening in other places, and the changes in the government is restructuring. That's why I say even the military did restructuring by creating more states, by creating more local government, by changing the pattern of government. The holding of constituent assembly they were having, that's part of restructuring. Look at the constitution and recommend something. The last was by Karibi White. So I think he will do it very well. And it requires the cooperation of young men who are technocrats, young men who are economically viable, young men who believe that they are Nigerians, not they are Igbos, or not that they are Yorubas or Ijaw. He will be able to do it. There's nothing difficult in doing it. As I said, El Rufai's report is a vindication of restructuring. Those who ask for restructuring, Obi will carry it out. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much, sir. I think let's please guys, going forward, we have less than 40 minutes with the legend in the building. So please let's try and keep our questions as short as possible so that we can entertain other people and asking
Yes.
questions. Please also you can use the living legend as a hashtag to ask your questions. We can read those questions really, real quick. All right, let's go to my sister Hanatu. Please, Hanatu, you have the space. In a minute, please, can you ask your
I
question?
will do that. Thank you very much. Okay.
Before you go to Anatu, can you send me your telephone number? I want to talk to you.
Which of us, sir?
The one who asked me the last question, who talked about
Okay,
the
he will do
leader.
that. We'll do that. The great
Yes,
oracle, please.
yes, I'll call
The
you, sir.
man, the
I have your
mountain.
number, sir. I will call you, sir.
All right, thank you very much. Yes,
Thank you, sir.
my daughter, come on, go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. It's such an honor to listen to you. Thank you to the whole co-host and host for giving me this opportunity to ask a quick question. Um, Indeed, a good name is better than wealth, and thank God that we still have fathers in Nigeria, and we as youth have woken up to the clarion call to save our nation. Thank you very much, sir, for all
Thank
you've
you.
said and for who you've been over the years. I come from
Thank you.
Plateau State, and my question is this. I have listened to you, and indeed, there's truth in all that you said. For the first time, this is the first time that I can see a block called the Middle Belt being respected, not just for votes, but to be brought to the table in the conversation. And this is where my concern comes in. What is your advice? What would you advise as a father to many of us from the Middle Belt listening to you right now? Because the Middle Belt is just a group of so many nations with different interests, both personal and collective. So it's very difficult to be able to have a voice, and it's very difficult to be able to have fathers, that we can everybody all listens to because of the peculiarities which you even know more than me. I just learned today that you even know more than I thought I knew. So my question is this: what is your advice right now to us as a middle belt, especially when we're going to pursue things around the farmers herders clashes, the killings that have gone on, the injustices that have been going on? And then also, what is your advice to, bigots, to other people from what we call the core north, many young people who are here listening, who have been indoctrinated with so many wrong things about what is wrong with our nation right now? Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, my daughter. Let me start with this. About 4 months ago, I got a letter from General Jeremiah Husseini. When I opened the letter, he was complaining, he was saying we try to assist them. Men are driving them away from their homes, and we should come to their aid. And I remember that General Husseini used to be more as if he was more of a Muslim than any other person. Whereas this is a Christian who was governor, military governor in my place. And so I was very happy. So I held a press conference on this issue. Now, let me say this to you. When Solomon La was governor of Plateau State, then Apaku was the governor of Benue State, And I used to communicate with two of them. Even before this, during the military, no, during the civilian regime, during Chagarit's time, I discovered that our people were being, the non-Fulanis or Hausas were being maltreated in their own home.
Is it just me?
No, we can't hear you, sir.
You
His
have a
network is
governor
off.
Okay.
who
Okay,
does
it's back.
not know his people are suffering, who could not be made a running mate, but he believed that the place for him is to become a director general of a campaign or whatever he is. He's deceiving himself. He's a sellout. I don't believe in him. I remember the Jang, the last governor, who were always in touch. If you cannot defend your people, who else can do that? If you cannot fight, you can talk. So for today, I have seen that our holiday resort, the place where white men will come and they will never like to go. Today, everybody is afraid as to what will happen tomorrow. 10 people are killed overnight. People have been kidnapped. Nobody talks. So, we are aware. So what we have, what we are trying to, what we are doing so far, we've got some of your people. There are things I don't want to say here, who are working with us to see that we live together without any quarrel, but as equal citizens, but respect my ownership of my land. I think these are the problem that we are having. I remember Ibrahim Matu in 1982. Ibrahim Matu was an assistant, was just an ordinary officer of the party, NPN. He came to me and Apaku. We set him up. We made him what he should be. We asked him to go and contest the chairmanship of NPN in Plateau State. He went. And I think the president, the national chairman of APC, Abdullah Adamu, I think, defeated him. We don't have anything. Then he became deputy to him. So I remember the woman minister, the woman affairs, Pauline also, led a delegation to me some time ago during Jonathan's time. And we looked at it, and I told Jonathan, don't let these people go on their own. They are being oppressed. And we did not care. That's today. We now have APC government in a predominantly PDP state. So we are gathering. The people are mentally alert. They know what they want, but they have no leader. That is the problem we have. But I'm happy that I told you how Cindy cried out recently that they were being oppressed. They were being oppressed by their neighbors who have come to take up their land. That should not be allowed in Nigeria. I remember During Jonathan's time, or Yaradua's time, the problem arose. During the crisis in that year, 2007 or 2008 or 9, Shagari visited the area in Jos after the trouble. He did not show happiness at what happened. I have a very high regard for Yaradu at the time, but I was very disappointed that he was not being sincere. I can say anything about anybody. I fear God. I respect human beings. I was not satisfied, and that has been the problem. Oppression of the people who own the area, want to change their land, want to take over their land. God will not agree. We won't agree. That is why we now said that there should be middle belt. When we met with Ango Abdullahi in one of our meetings, which I co-chaired with him, he said that I was trying to divide the North. He said there is no middle belt. I said there is middle belt. And we argued. Today, Bitud Pogu is now the president of the Middle Belt Forum. And today, Jonathan, the president of the Southern Kaduna Union, is contesting election under Labour, and he's going to win. He's going to win. So there is no more going back, my daughter. We will have to fight for our right. We have to fight for our right, and in doing so, government should be asked to stay clear, to see that peace comes from the place, settle everybody on equal basis. There should be no discrimination. So that is the position. The push is still there, where one man who contested the election last time, they tried to kill him. So, my daughter, your people are not sleeping. Our people are not sleeping. Nobody can subjugate them except God. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. I think, please, guys, if you're up and you want to ask the questions, your hands should be up. Tio, please, a minute, please. Your question in a minute, please. Thank you.
1 minute, 1 minute, please. 1 minute.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm going to be very brief. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
So it's such an honor to have you with us. Thank you very much for all your
Thank
words, your contributions, and everything you've done in the
Question,
betterment of the country.
question, please.
Yeah, the question I'm going to ask is, I want to know, like, based on all the endorsement that we've been getting from different groups, are there any grassroots mobilization being going on by this group as well? And again, I would like to know what are your take about Ukowa, the current vice presidential candidate of the PDP. Thank you.
Well, I can assure you that grassroots mobilization is going on. We won't sit down in Abuja and say that we endorse Obi without participating in the campaign. As, we are doing it. Obi is going to win. You have a 10-year-old girl who say Obi. And I remember one of my daughters was coming from Lagos 2 months ago or 3 months ago. And at the airport, a bus came to take them to the plane. And what happened? Obi came in. He doesn't know him. When he entered, everywhere, obedient. So he asked, who said Obi? So when they got to the plane, everybody, the same thing. And when they got to Lagos, the crowd was so much that she had to find a place to come home. That shows how popular a man is. It's a movement. It's not a political party as such. It's a movement. God has taken a decision that Nigeria must have a new leader. A leader that will be acceptable by the whole world. A leader who can speak on our behalf without shame, without fear or favor. A leader who believes in one Nigeria, where everybody is his son or daughter. That's the leader we are looking for. And Obi has all the qualities, physically and mentally. He has everything.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Can we have the
Thank
next?
Yeah, Madam Bolande, please, in a minute, please. Thank you.
I'll try and keep it brief. Good evening, sir. Thank you so
Good
much for
evening.
being here. Thank you so much for being here with us. Those nuggets of wisdom that you're dropping. I mean, I feel like I'm at the feet of my grandfather, listening to you. Right. So my question is this: one thing that has been exposed during this particular election period is the level of bigotry where we are experiencing vile rhetoric. And as a Yoruba woman who supports Peter Obi, I know how much insults we, people of my tribe who have made the same decision, have faced. Right. On one hand, I'm thinking, is it just political expediency, or are the fault lines in Nigeria that deep that we would require, a South African style truth and reconciliation panel to address the grievances and the uh, sorry, the grievances and the marginalization and the fact that the middle belt is just, it's bled for decades, and it doesn't seem like Nigeria has stood up for them yet. Thank you, sir.
Which people?
I'm talking about people in the middle belt, not just the plateau, the Benue. We're talking about the
Now
southern.
let me say this to you. We have a meeting of southern Nigeria and middle belt, and I hope you've heard that we lost our leader in the middle belt, Commodore Dan Suleiman, died
Yes.
last week. Yeah. Now, people like General Leckworth, they are there. So they're important people in the middle belt. You cannot cover them up. They will speak at any time. They've arrived, and even the the people at home, either in Akoti or in Wukari or wherever they are. So the 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 middle belt has arrived. Nobody can change it. If you go to Kaduna, southern Kaduna, they are on the ground, and they are going to win. The governorship of middle of Kaduna state will go uh, to the middle belt people. So we are not suffering. We are not suffering, but the security forces are not are not supporting us. For instance, in southern Kaduna, when they attack their people and our people want to come out, they said there's curfew. They would allow them to come out to defend themselves. But we have also told them what to do. My daughter, the days are gone when we feel that we are inferior to some people. No, we are not. So when we have a meeting some time ago, we call Congress for Change. formed by the Middle Belt and the South. And our first meeting was attended by people like General Bamayi, Togoyaro, and so many other people from Kebbi, from Tamfara, from Kaduna, from Katsina, from Niger, from Kwara. These are areas, even though they don't live together in one state, we regard them as Middle Belt people. And even though people like Anga Abdullah accuse us that we are dividing them, that these people are not in the same place, so, but they all realize that you're either a Fulani or you have your own tribe, ethnic nationality. So that is the position. Don't worry. The Middle Belt has come to stay, and we will support it. Whatever happens today will be there. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So I think she asked like two questions. She first of all started up with the bigotry people in the southwest are getting. So I don't know if you could address that in a very short time so we could go to the next speaker. Thank you, sir.
Which one?
The bigotry from southwesterners are getting right now for supporting Obi.
What she means is Southwesterners who are supporting Obi are being condemned and criticized. What's your word, sir?
By whom?
By their people. By their people.
They are not better Yoruba men than our people. Aya Debajo is in charge. He's in charge. When my good friends, General Kriade and others, Rufalaya and others, followed Tinubu to Akure, they thought that they have been able to scatter Afenifere. No, because the old man had retired. I was aware. He told me that he had retired and has given the leadership to Aya Debajo. And when he called a meeting, everybody attended. And they're moving on. So there's nobody. Who told you that they are in the majority? They are not. Most of them were with us and had wanted to come. They don't call them for meetings. Then we have said, call them. I'm the leader. There's no molestation of our people there. Our people are strong enough to deal with them. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much, sir. I think Savik, please in a minute, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. And we are profoundly grateful for your wealth of experience that you're sharing with us this evening, and equally for your insights and assuring us that PO is going to try to implement the 2014 confab report. Thank you so much for that.
He will.
Thank you. I just wanted to kind of get your insight and advice on what is going on with some of our Niger Delta brothers that are in the creeks that are coming out to declare their support for Bola Ahmed Tinubu. After knowing the whole baggages that he comes with, will you kind of share some advice to them and kind of make them understand the new Nigeria we are seeking for right now, that is PO, that is actually going to guarantee that? Because there's a lot of example is Asari Dokubo and his likes. I don't know what kind of advice you can share with them for now, so that all of us can listen to that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. First and foremost, the last questioner said that talked about Okowa. And quickly, I want to say this. Okowa, who is the governor of Delta State, I was instrumental to his being chosen as governor. I worked for him. So he's my governor. But he has not been straightforward with his colleagues and with us. Why? on his own. He invited his colleagues, 16 of them, to come to Asaba. 17 of them took a decision that the presidency of Nigeria must come to the south. He prepared he provided the secretariat, supervised it, the communique to be written. After writing the communique, they gave it to the governor of Ondo State, who was the chairman, to read, and he did. They went to Lagos to affirm it. Later, they went to Enugu to affirm it. Now we, Southern and Middle Belt, supported them and said no one from the South should become a running mate to Atiku, who does not want a Southerner to become president, to Atiku or to anybody who is not a Southerner. And not knowing that, Okowa has been spending our money, giving to Atiku to fight for his nomination. He was not sincere to his colleagues. He did that to divert the attention that he was not doing. He was doing this. He was doing this. So he was not sincere. He betrayed his colleagues. He betrayed us. That's the grievances we have against him. And we will see to it that PDP, or not PDP as such, Atiku and Okowa will not win any election in the South. Now, coming to the second one you mentioned, that was about Azari Dokubo and other militants. Listen, I don't want to comment on that because I'm the father of all of them. I have not seen anything done by Azari Dokubo. Azari Dokubo cannot influence the militants or the youths in the South Side. They know their rights. They know their rights. A group of them came today and went to the INEC, to give a press conference about the judgment of the Supreme Court, which says that there should be a rearrangement of wards and so on in Warri, 3 wards, 3 local government. So Asari Dokubo does not stay in Niger land. He's in is it Togo or Dahomey? That's where he stays. So his presence does not make any difference. It does not influence anybody. He believed that he was part of those boys in the East, but they about quarreled. So I don't think I want to comment on Asari Dokubo.
Thank you,
I think
sir.
beyond that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Wow, thank you very much, sir. Let's move on to our next speaker real quickly. Please remember to keep sharing the space, guys. Okay, briefly your question, Peter Obi USA. You have the floor. Go ahead, please.
Thank you very much. Let me rush and say, Don Mosa. Thank you, Pa Edwin Clark. My name is Stephen Osemigi in New York. And I'm very delighted to meet we can call you an ancestor, but you are still alive. So, what's it? Don Mosa.
I'm alive, yes.
Thank you very much. Domo, sir, Domo. My question will quickly be that you guys that were here before this whole party of Nigeria began, what was the conversation towards independence? I know that the 1966 crazy madhouse by young boys with military uniform disrupted Nigeria. We have not gotten it right since then. And the states will say we have 36 legs, you rightly said, but I believe they were created by largely people in uniform. Nigerians have never decided which state we will have, how many it will be. And I would like you to speak to what was the conversation briefly before we started this party. We believe that we got it wrong when the military boys took over, and we have not been able to agree to get it right. For example, the Southeast have 5 states, even though supposedly it's a region. Why does the Northwest have 7 states? They will never have enough senators. They will never have enough people in the House of Assembly to have their legislation go forward. We that are minority, as it were, in quote, as an Edo person, what is our voice in the Nigeria? So there's so many things wrong, and the restructuring doesn't quite capture our diversity. I'd like you to speak to that. I know the time is short.
So what is your question? What is your question?
My question specifically is, in terms of the restructuring, can we go back to what it was when Nigeria was given independence, as to the original agreement for regions to have that autonomy? Because I don't really hear that in terms of my understanding of what they talk about restructuring. I know it's a long question.
Thank you very much. Let me refer you back to the 2014 National Conference. One of the decisions taken in order to make everybody equal was to create 18 states, more states, so that no one ethnic group can dominate the other ethnic group because they're in the minority in the state. That would put everybody on equal footing. That's one of the ways to do it. Number two, devolution of power. When the power comes to the state at the state level, we will all be represented. But when it does not, only the majority people who are in government enjoy it. You said Southeast have 5 states. On what basis? Nobody knows. That's why we said at the national conference that create 3 more states. 3 more states. No, 4 more states for the East. Then they will make it 9 states. Create 2, and no 3 for the other regions, and 2 for Northwest, so that every region will have 9 states. There's no reason why some people have a fewer number of senators, fewer numbers of ministers, everything that is minority, even sharing of money, they are cheated. So these are the things we are correcting. We're on it. We are fighting for that. But we don't want to use this election to fight for that. We are not talking about that now. But one of our major problems is this, what you have said. And in our meetings, we discuss it from time to time.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I don't think we'll have enough time to take more than 2 more speakers. Because I think we're wrapping up in 9 minutes. So let's just take 2 more. Max or Bessie, your hand has been up for a while. Good evening. You have the floor.
Hi, good evening, everyone.
Very brief, please. Less than a minute.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Koidesa.
Serio. Tobrao.
Thank you. Yeah. Emisa.
Yeah.
I'm just going to just ask a very quick question, sir. I know that you have many children across the Niger Delta, myself included. Some of your big children are from Bayelsa State in particular. And I know that the former governor of Bayelsa State is your son, and the current governor himself is your son.
They are my children.
They were. I can say they were. I'm a little bit worried about their public posture because they've claimed, when they talk to people in Bayelsa State on public occasion, they've claimed that they are your children, and they've always referred to you as a leader in the Ijaw Nation. And this election has been able to expose something, that their public display of patriotism to the Ijaw Nation is different from what they've done covertly. I'm worried you've endorsed Peter Obi publicly and you're doing everything to support Peter Obi. But these people seem to be running on a different trajectory. My question is, what are you doing, if any? What are the things you're doing, if any, to bring this sort of people to the table, for them to understand the need for us to have a president like Peter Obi and sustain and perhaps deepen our democracy? Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. I spoke. I had a discussion with my son Doediri yesterday, and then last week I spoke to Dixon, my son, who wants to go back to the Senate. Now they are PDP men. Their party is PDP. At the moment, you find that they are not with Wike. They are in the main. They are with the main party. So it is difficult for them to support Peter Obi, and we would like to push them to do so. But all we say that allow everybody to vote for the person he wants to vote for. No question of governor says we should all vote for this. That's what that is avoided. Anybody can vote for anybody. So it will not affect. They too have only one vote each. So I do not think that they are supporting their party. They cannot leave their party to come and support Obi, and they are not members of the party. They are not part of the 5 recalcitrant governors. So everybody will vote according to his conscience. Once that freedom is given to everybody, that's okay. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I think it does.
It does. It does answer. It does answer.
All right,
And just
Kelly,
to add,
then Priya, real
to
quick.
it, Daddy said something about governor say, governor no say. This is not about governor say or governor no say. It's about our destinies, right? 2023 is about our destiny. So when governor say
You are right. You
and it
are
doesn't
right.
align with our aspiration for a better Nigeria, then we say should take the cause. What we say should take the cause. I just need to add that because I see a lot of comments, even as we're having this program, people are asking questions. This governor say, that governor say. It's not about governor say, it's about what we say. I just thought I should make that point. Thank you very much.
Clear. That's very good point. Everybody should be allowed to vote according to his conscience, whether young or old.
Thank you, sir. Saddam, please go ahead.
All right, let's just take Kelly and Priya in a minute each, please, so we can wrap up
30
this.
seconds each. 30 seconds.
Yeah, 30
Okay.
seconds each, please.
Thank you very much. I will go straight to the question. Sir, how can we ensure that mathematically it is impossible for PDP and APC to get any votes more than 25% in the South? I mean, we need to deny them that window, that opportunity. That's my question. Thank you.
Okay, can we take the second question so that Daddy answers the two at once?
Exactly. Go ahead, Pray.
Yeah, Koide, sir. Priya Paraman, I'm speaking from Brutu. I'm from Delta.
Okay.
Sir, yes, the reason why I'm gauging is Max had already asked part of it, but I just want to take it further. You said you are engaging some of the leaders already, highly placed leaders, but within this 1-2 weeks, can we put up an event, no matter how small, but once it's engaged in your name, it will pull some of our local leaders, some chiefs, and those people to want to put their weight behind it. Some of them are not in PDP, but they are leaders of thought in communities. Can we put up an event? I don't know if it's okay with you within the next 1-2 weeks to actually engage minds in the Niger Delta. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very
Go
much.
ahead, sir.
Yes, something is being done in that regard. Today, Mr. Entebbe is the representative of Peter B in the South. So they're already working out something to see that there are organizations, there are committees to move around to the villages, to the clans, to the wards for the next 2 weeks to see particularly the logo of Peter B to be properly, our people to be properly educated about it. So I agree with you. Something is going to be done, if not being done already.
Yes,
The
sir. One
question
of the
about the 25%, that again depends upon the people. If majority, as we now see, they may not get 25%, but because the governors of some of these places still control a number of their people, they may be able to get 25% for them. As for people going to the cliques and so on, I think it's just a visit. It does not give him any advantage by anybody. So as far as I am concerned, the issue of 25% depends upon the voting pattern of the people. So and it's too early to answer it, because within the next 2 weeks, before the end of, we'll be able to see where the swing will go. It is so early now. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. What are not enough to convey our gratitude to you, sir, for finding
Thank
out
you.
time, spending over 2 hours with us to share your thoughts, to inspire us, to nudge us forward, right, as we take these steps to alter our destiny and the destiny of our nation. May God bless you, sir. Thank
Thank
you.
you. God will protect you, guide you, give you the courage, the wisdom to perform your duties to the satisfaction of Nigerians. So let
Amen.
us, at the end of it, let us
Amen.
have a better Nigeria. Thank
Amen.
you, and God bless.
God bless you, sir.
Amen. Amen.
God
Thank you
bless you,
so
sir.
Before
much.
we
God bless you, sir. God bless you,
Thank you.
sir.
God bless you. Thank you
we
for your
Thank
time.
you, my
okay,
daughter. Thank you.
please listen.
Bye.
Thank
Amen.
Please
you.
listen to
Sir.
the following announcement. Very important, please. Tomorrow,
Yeah,
Lagos, we are taking charge of Lagos. Tomorrow is the
we're
Lagos.
shutting Lagos down
Yes,
tomorrow. He's
down.
shutting
We
Lagos
are
down
at the
from
Tafawa
every
Balewa,
every.
right? If you look at Twitter now, the hashtag Lagos for LP is trending. The hashtag Obidati in Lagos is trending. The hashtag Peter Obi is trending. So please, we must be there in our numbers. Don't forget, tomorrow we shut down Lagos. Then tomorrow also we'll be hosting the former governor of Lagos State
Deputy governor, deputy governor.
former deputy governor of Lagos State on this space. And she is Her Excellency Chief Kofoworola Bukno Akerele. Please don't miss it. You see the inspiration we get from this conversation. You see the insight we get into history from this conversation. You see the commitments of our leaders and fathers to this nation. It's if you want to be inspired, if you want to strengthen your convictions, please don't miss it. Kindly retweet, kindly invite more people to come on this program. Another thing too, we have the Town Hall app, which we're using to promote conversations around the election. And it's also going to be a tool that will be very vital on election day. You can download the Town Hall app by going to obidati.support. Obidati.support. www.obidati.support. Please download the Town Hall app and begin to engage with your people, right, in your constituency in the app. It's an app that it will be instrumental to our success because it's so featured that on election day we would have our conversation centralized. So that whatever is happening where, and as the results trickle in, you can see it live on the space. Please download the Town Hall app. It's not the regular Town Hall. It's not Bulaba. This is a different Town Hall. This is the real Town Hall, right? So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you on behalf of the co-hosts, Dr. Mo, Saddam, and the elegant Lady Kibati. And then most importantly, on behalf of the man behind everything we're doing here, His Excellency Mr. Valentine Ozibo. Aziza is behind the scene, doing a lot. We thank you. We appreciate you all. Thank you for giving us this opportunity to bring eminent Nigerians to interact with regular Nigerians and the rest of us. Until tomorrow, this is me, Oraye, St. Franklyn, your host, signing out. Thank you and God bless you.